the 2025 Academy Awards. A background for the Academy Awards. The Oscars are something prestigious and monumental each year for filmmakers, actors, and people who work on film sets. Each year it showcases the talents of Hollywood's best and shines light on the year's best art. Normally, the award show is well received and thought of as highly reputable, but in 2025, the ceremony was heavily criticized. 2024 was a very competitive year for film, and fans were excited to see if their favorites would win. The year was heavily female dominated, with films such as Wicked, Anora, and Emilia Perez being nominated for Best Picture. Unfortunately, with such stiff competition, fans of each film were upset by certain outcomes, such as Best Picture being awarded to Anora, which completely focused around a female sex worker. Fans of the award show were also upset at transgender actress Carla Sofia Gascon being nominated for Best Actress. Factors such as these made the 2025 Academy Awards a topic for discussion on underlying motivations behind filmmaking and awards. Some social factors: race. Wicked star Ariana Grande was the most popular contender in the 2025 Best Supporting Actress category. Though she was backed by fan support, Zoe Saldana won for Emilia Perez. This sparked outrage from fans of Ariana's, claiming Saldana only won because her film centered around Latina and transgender women. Saldana was made target of Grande, a Caucasian woman's, fan base. This is a common gender and racial stereotype, particularly surrounding women of color. The claim that artworks inherit wokeness is the push for it to win, rather than the talent of the artist. Saldana's acting abilities have nothing to do with her gender or race. It simply has to do with her talent and work with her specific character. Saldana's race may have provided her with a connection to the film that moved her performance. Her gender and race could have intersected to provide her performance with a sense of realness that Ariana's could have possibly lacked. Then we have feminism. With this year's nominees, women have been at the center of 2024's best films. This has boosted feminist ideology in cinema. An example of this is Anora winning Best Picture. The film tells the story of a sex worker's marriage to a rich Russian oligarch's son. The film is very feminist in its intentions and storytelling, striving to expose its audience to the struggles of being respected as a woman and as a sex worker. The Academy favoring this film is huge for feminism, as not many films with a female lead have won the award, not to mention the tough life of this woman and her work and the personal sacrifices she's made. The film does not sympathize with or engage the audience in empathizing with its completely misogynistic male characters, which is another reason for some of the backlash. The Oscars pushing these feminist ideas mainstream introduces these perspectives and makes feminist theory more accessible. Then transgender representation, as I said, the Academy Awards this year were historic for transgender representation. Carla Sofia Gascon is the first transgender woman to be nominated for the Best Actress category. For Emilia Perez, Gascon represents multiple oppressed communities as a Latina, Spanish-speaking transgender woman. However, there was criticism towards the Oscars for this decision. People argued that cisgender women deserved the opportunity to be nominated over a trans woman. Rather than acknowledge Gascon's talent as an actress, there was pushback against her gender identity. However, this was massive representation for the trans community nonetheless. Then misogyny. Again, the fact that the films starring women were the most criticized and discussed proves that there was quite a bit of misogyny in film critiquing. For example, Anora was spoken about negatively for portraying a female sex worker in a positive light and telling her story. A bulk of the people criticizing the film are men who would never understand the story or how important it is for women to be represented properly, regardless of career path and lifestyle, which is androcentrism. Um, some men could believe that the story of a female sex worker isn't as important as, say, the story of, Bob Dylan, who's a male, in his biopic Complete Unknown, which is also nominated. Women's representation will always come under fire in media, as men will find ways to undermine it, especially when it comes to a marginalized woman such as a sex worker or a trans woman or an LGBTQ woman. Then intersectionality. Intersectionality was a huge theme at the Academy Awards this year. Nominees were very diverse in their representation of certain groups. Films about transgender women, women in sex work, female friendships, and racial inequality made for a diverse lineup. Nominees such as Cynthia Erivo, a black LGBTQ woman, were nominated for awards for monumental films in the world of gender. Wicked especially used messages to fight prejudice against those who are different, and Erivo's nomination proves that going against the norm is important to have it represented properly, and the amount of female-centered art goes against a patriarchal view that women aren't as capable as men to deliver in male-dominated settings. Then some power dynamics. In the context of the Academy Awards, the Academy holds power in determining which films are nominated and which win. However, there is certainly power given to audiences and the media in determining winners and nominees. If a film is not well received by audiences, the Academy is less likely to give it awards. This would simply damage media presence. In essence, the media controls the images of these people involved in film and are responsible for the heavy publicization of their careers. Someone such as Ariana Grande, a hugely successful pop singer turned actress, has been completely villainized by the media for her relationship with her Wicked co-star Ethan Slater, who used to be a married man prior to their relationship. Grande received all of this while Wicked was being met with Oscar buzz and acclaim, but Slater was relatively untouched even though he was the one in the relationship before meeting Ariana. The media's attacks on Grande for the relationship prove that women will always be made the target despite their role in a situation, especially if a woman is seen as successful and powerful. Patriarchy has systemically been an issue in Hollywood and film, systematically, with women always being seen as either less than, essentially an accessory to men, or painted as divas who are selfish. This has been manifested by the media for years and has only slightly changed in modern times. Even when the Academy pushes femininity, androcentric points of view strip power from these female nominees who deserve their place because of their talent. Furthermore, women of color face this to a greater extent. Black women especially have their power taken by the media with a common rhetoric of the angry black woman stereotype. This again takes away from the talent of these women. There was also backlash on a trans woman, again, being nominated in a major category. This further pushes that no matter what, femininity will always be met with critique by powerful individuals that are most likely men. My personal reflection from what I have observed in film culture and the media surrounding the Academy Awards, there tends to be a stigma in regards to the art that depicts topics and experiences defying norms. There is backlash from those who believe representation for marginalized communities has no place in mainstream film, and that awards such as the Oscars should not hold space for them. This saddens me as I believe women of color, transgender people, LGBTQ plus members, and everyone else should have an equal chance at success in sharing their art and experiences. Not only this, but the experiences of these people are needed in today's world where not everybody is understood. This lack of understanding contributes to patriarchy, homophobia, transphobia, and racism. 2025's Oscars celebrates women, but androcentric views of the media and those critiquing these awards weaken the feelings of success for femininity in general. Masculinity is far less likely to be criticized and put under fire, unless there is a direct attack or deviation to it. As a younger male, seeing films such as Wicked, Anora, and The Substance share the experiences and struggles of femininity opens my eyes to just how systematically sexist and racist Hollywood can be. The treatment of women and LGBTQ plus members is shockingly negative in contrast to just how easily men come across, particularly when they are heteronormative and white. It opens my eyes to just how unfair media treatment is to marginalized groups and those sharing their artwork. Looking beyond the awards ceremony, this year's Oscars display the treatment of talented women in today's patriarchal society. The reality of the situation is that women are going to be criticized far more than any man would, and a woman of color or transgender woman just would have another factor stacked against them. Patriarchy's roots will always influence the media's perception of successful women and their stories. What can be done to prevent this? Exactly what awards such as the Oscars do: give these marginalized communities space to tell their stories and spread their art. Fighting patriarchy and gender norms through art is an impactful way for discourse on huge issues to reach people who may not be as informed or educated. This also gives those who don't necessarily conform to gender norms a platform. Most importantly, it educates those who are impressionable so our world can further work towards change in a male, white dominated society.